Hey guys, it's JT again for Fleetwood Arms channel. Today I'm going to be, I broke down this gun in the last video. Now we're going to be cleaning the gun again before it goes into the new stock. And we're going to be installing it into this new Op4 Archangel stock that I received for an early Christmas present from my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law. Thanks again, guys. I'm excited to see how this thing works, see how it fits. I may have to do some customizing. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of it tonight, but we'll get it in there and let you guys see how it looks. But first things first, we're going to go ahead and wipe down this gun and make sure it's good and clean before it goes into the new stock. So I like to keep some paper towels. I'm going to go ahead and get some. This is stuff that I use, just a break-free power blaster gun cleaner. It works pretty well. I haven't had any issues with it. I used to use Rem oil a lot, but I had a firearm that the bluing got a little messed up from the Rem oil. Not saying Rem oil will do it to all guns. Any cleaner can technically do it, but it did it to one, so I don't really use it anymore unless that's all I've got. Which I still have some. So, just something to keep in your mind. If you're using Rem oil, just look into it. Sometimes it can remove bluing. I don't know if it was just a bad batch or what, but it removed some bluing on one of my guns and I didn't like it. So now I'm using Safariland Break-Free Power Blast for the gun cleaner, and then same company, Safariland Break-Free CLP Cleaner Lubricant Preventative. That is what I use primarily for my my lube and preventative from trying to keep it from rust. I also have some of this. This stuff goes a long way. You don't need to use a lot. It's called Militech. The military will use it a lot. It's a weapons grade synthetic base metal conditioner. Kind of seeps into the metal a little bit and keeps it as clean, well, as lubricated as possible. I would like to try some frog lube, so if anybody's got a line on some and wants to send me some, go ahead, just shoot me a message and I'll get you my information. We can give that a shot. I'd love to try it. I just haven't had the time to go find some. I know there's some in a local store and I just haven't had the time to go pick it up. Eventually I will, and we'll do a little review on that and see what I think and use it for a while and see how it works for me. But right now this stuff's been working for me for quite a while, so and I like it. So again, I'm just doing a little bit of a preventative maintenance on this gun, just cleaning it down, make sure there's no water spots got on it and keeping it from rust and everything. Just wiping it down with the cleaner, and I'm going to go through and wipe it down with some oil before it goes into the stock. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and get another one and we will go through and wipe it down with the CLP. This stuff foams up, so don't need too much. Just enough to give the whole gun a liberal coating, and then most of it will just get wiped back off. But I'm going to get a nice coating on it at first, and then we'll go through and wipe it down again and get any residual that doesn't need to be on there off. The tape on here is to hold this trigger on. That, in my opinion, is really loose. I know a lot of them are, so it's just a little trick just to keep it from falling out so you don't lose it. I like to make sure all my stuff stays in one place. If you are taking it out, I like to use these little metal cheapo magnetic trays. Get them from most of your automotive hardware stores and stuff like that for, I think it's what I pay, like $5 for two of them. The two of these little metal magnetic hooks, and I think this magnetic extension rod. I think it was $5 or so. I mean, they're not the greatest, as you can see. That just popped off, but it's not that big a deal. Just put it back on. So, now we'll go through, flip it over, wipe the excess that doesn't need to be on there off, and this will be ready to start putting into that stock. We'll get it out, go over some key points again that I like about it, my first opinions on it real quick, and then we'll go from there. So that's going to go there. We'll grab a stock. All right, this is the OD Green Archangel stock. When you get it in the package, this little block is inside here. You just take a punch and drift it out, punch it out, and I'm going to save it because I'll probably be able to find some use for it later. And so far I like it. I like the palm swells. I feel like the palm swells could be a little bit more uniform, not so just rounded in one spot, maybe a little elongated, but it feels good in the hand. I've got bigger palms with shorter fingers, so it's going to be a little reach for me for the trigger, but I think I'll be alright once it's all said and done. I know on some guns they say you have to mill out some of the trigger guard, and there's some areas inside here that you have to mill out sometimes if you're having some hang-ups. I don't have a Timney trigger, so I have to install the insert for where the safety would be for the Timney trigger, which is a drop-in cartridge for the replacement trigger. Eventually I'd like to get one, just don't have one right now. Like I said before, it's got adjustable cheek and adjustable buttstock. I love that feature. I've got longer arms, I'm 6'1", so that will make it a little bit nicer for when I put a scope on, and I'll be able to tailor it to myself to try and get the best accuracy out of the gun as I can. Again, this gun isn't going to be the one that's going to stay in this stock. Eventually I'm going to get another one, and it's probably going to be cut down a little bit, make it a little shorter, so I don't need that long of a gun in this particular stock. I would probably personally like to take off maybe 5 inches off of this, but since this is a hex receiver, I don't want to cut this one up because I like it being a hex receiver. I want it to stay original. Eventually it's going to go back in the original stock once I get a new one again, like I said. But in order to install it, you're supposed to use Loctite. I don't have any blue Loctite, all I have is some red Loctite, so I'm not going to do the Loctite yet. Plus I'm probably going to be pulling this in and out a few times, and then after I get it all situated, that's when I'll go ahead and get the Loctite and put it in there. These blocks came with it. I'm just going to use it as a little stand to kind of prop it up a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm going to check real quick to make sure. Yeah, looks pretty good. So, they say you can torque the bolts for this. I believe it was 65 inch-pounds. It looks like I'm going to have to do some modification to mine. I might not be able to finish this video tonight because I don't think I'm going to have time to modify that right now. But it looks like I'm going to have to mill out my rear tang a little bit, and we'll see if it's hitting anywhere else. Let's go with the flashlight. Helps if it's got wires. Grab another one. So, looks like the only area I'm hitting right now is the rear tang area. So I'm going to end up having to pull that out and mill that out a little bit, which is alright. I expected that somewhere to have a few hiccups, but that's alright. It's not. Yep. Which, that's not that big of a deal. We'll just mill it out and see how it does. I'm just going to use a Dremel and kind of sand it out a little bit and see how it goes. Maybe we'll go ahead and do that right now. So what I'm talking about is right here, right in the back of this tang, here on this side and this side is contacting. So I'm going to have to Dremel out the sides a little bit to get it to seat down all the way in. Which is expected. They say you may have some fitment issues that you may have to work around, but we'll work around them and we'll get this thing installed. So I'm just going to use my Dremel like I said, so it's going to be a little bit noisy. I do apologize.